Well, back we are. This is Origins of Our Faith. My name is Sir Christensen, this time talking about a brief history of the northern kingdom of Israel and looking at some of the things that led up to this kingdom once again being one side by side next to the nation of Judah for about 230 years. Well, again, many of the things that these people were wanting to have, relief from a monarchy they thought was harsh against them, relief from taxes, relief from being drafted into an army, were all things that didn't happen because now they had a new monarchy. Jeroboam was set up as king over the northern kingdom, which meant that there were taxes being needed to collecting. There were also this was certainly not a time that you could do without an army. So people were once again drafted into an army and made to serve and fight various wars that would come up throughout its history. So the things they thought they were getting away from, as far as the federal government and wanting to have more tribal rights, really didn't come to pass. Nor did the relief from taxes really become too awfully evident. Nor was it something that they were really given a whole lot of freedom as far as their tribal rights. Things weren't really the way they expected they would be. And as time went on and things developed, we see that the nation moved in certain directions that, sometimes it went from bad to worse. And in fact, if you look at the Bible's definition of the kings of Israel, the northern kingdom, basically it says this king was bad, this king was worse, this king was even worse, this was a bad king, this was a worse king, and this king was worse than that king. Now this king was a bad king, and that's how the history goes. At least with the kingdom of Judah, the kingdom in the south, you would have a bad king and a good king. And here's a good king. Well, there's another bad king. This king was bad, but that king was good. So you have a combination of good and bad. That didn't happen with the nation of Israel. You had bad kings and worse kings. So Jeroboam was king for about 21 years. Now, one of the interesting things about the nation of Israel, the kingdom of Israel, the northern kingdom, is here you have a kingdom where people are crowned as king and served many times quite long, but many times quite short. There were some kings that only were king for a week, a month, a few months, and were subsequently relieved of their kingship through assassination. And this history was something that was quite common with the nation of Israel. In fact, Jeroboam, after his reign of about 21 years, he was followed by his son, Nadab, who was king only for a few months. And because it was seen that this was an opportunity to take control, and many of the people who wanted that control were officers, people in the army, and this is what happened. Baasha became king. He exterminated the entire house of Jeroboam, which means Nadab and all his family and all his brothers and sisters and everybody from the house of Jeroboam that could come and contest his kingship. And so Baasha then became king, and he existed as king for 23 years. This was a period of time that, not much happened per se. Baasha was not a tremendously strong king, and it was, again, something that he was not really one that had a lot of vision. Again, basically got the job through assassination, but retained the position and retained the kingship until he died. When he died, his son Elah took the throne and was, again, only there for a few months, and then he was assassinated and replaced by an officer in under his command. And this officer, whose name was Zimri, again did the same thing, wiped out the entire house of Elah, and it was a period of time that, again, you have a lot of turmoil and upheaval. Whenever this happens, it doesn't do a lot to stabilize the economy, to make things become more prosperous, but rather tends to do the other, things go the other way, and turmoil happens. People become less secure and less sure of things, less willing to invest in long-term prospecting of various ideas and ventures. And so it was that for the first 50 years of Israel's existence as a separate kingdom, it didn't really fare all that great. It really didn't have a lot of, again, all the things that they were hoping for, where things will be better, things will be brighter. It will be in a lot better position, they thought. Well, after Zimri, we find that the next person to take over was Omri. Now, Omri, even though his reign was not all that long, he reigned for 7 years, he really had an impact on some of the history and some of the really future at that point of Israel. One of the things that he decided to do was make alliances with the nations around him. An alliance was forged with the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Judah, and through much of their history, they were allied pretty much and remained friends. But also made alliances with Tyre to the northwest of the nation of Israel. And in fact, his son Ahab was an arranged marriage was decided between Ahab and the king of Tyre's daughter, Jezebel. And so Ahab and Jezebel then were king and queen over the nation of Israel. Omri had a pretty good talent at making alliances and securing the kingdom through a period of time of peace because of alliances he was able to forge with the people around him. One thing that was not good, though, is these alliances also had an impact on the belief system, on the religion, on the following the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that really made them distinctive as a nation. And that change was something that was going to be very detrimental to the development of Israel as we go on to the future. But we will have to take that up on our next program. That's it for today. We'll talk again next time when we continue our brief history of the northern kingdom of Israel, next time on Origins of Our Faith.